Alright folks, hello and welcome to Digital Combat Simulator. You are on board my SU-25 for this free flight, and this will be my first impressions of this software, of this simulator. First off, I have to say it, I'm extremely happy to, for a first time, be able to experience somewhat realistic flight in the Oculus Rift. Also kind of happy it happens at the apparition of the second development kit, because the added detail this unit is capable of is really good. And I mean, it's nice that I'm introduced to virtual reality flight with this unit. That being said, DCS has a lot to offer. It has tons to offer, and I've only dedicated about, I'd say, a couple of hours of research to the title, like I usually do before I do a first impressions video, because I want to keep it at first impressions, right? So I don't want to play the game too long before I get down to giving my opinion about it in a video. And I struggled during those 2 hours. Mostly, I'll give you an example. It's a flight simulator, right? So it has a lot of controls, a lot of configurations that you can do, and I can't do them in the game. I have to actually get out, go in their launcher, make my changes, come back, and you know what happens when you have to do that. You end up going the game, damn, I forgot this button, damn, I forgot this button. Every time you have to restart. So that wasn't optimal. And then I tried a whole bunch of combat things, probably too quickly. This is definitely my fault. It's something I'm doing wrong. But I can't destroy targets for shit. I finally got the guns to work, and I still couldn't destroy targets. So not so good on the full product so far, but what impresses me is the flight simulation. And I figured it'd be worth doing a first impressions video at this point, just due to the quality of the free flight. And, you know, I'm impressed because it's not like DCS is a very large company. It doesn't appear to be by any means. And this is actually surprisingly realistic. It's hard to make a good flight simulation, and this one is worthy. And it really gives me a good option for flying in virtual reality with the Oculus Rift, because it has built-in support. So this is truly appreciated already, and it's appreciated enough to the point where it justifies me making another a first impressions video. And there we go, I appear to be safely off the ground. And this is really cool. I mean, they have positional tracking, so I can look around my cockpit and lean about, check my nacelles, are my motors okay? Yeah, they appear to be. There's no wing fires or anything stupid like that. I did set off a fire earlier. Like, I turned my head, just look over the wing, I'm like, was that fire? Yes. Oh, I'm about to explode, am I? Yes. Boom! And then I exploded. It was funny. Anyways, but I do have to say that the quality of the flight is enough for me to use this software for hours without ever touching the combat features. And I'm gonna say, it's not that I don't like combat, but I'm picky about it. I'm so picky about it. I almost wish that DCS, in a way, was turned into a flight simulator as well. I almost wish it was like a pure flight simulation version of this software. And when I say that, I wish there were civilian aircraft available. It would be really cool to have that option. Come on, nose. Yeah, let go of my stick there. I was rudder flying. But to have this, to have such a good base for flight simulation, I mean, put aside the combat, I would love to fly a Cessna in this thing. I could friggin' do instrument checkout. And here's the thing about flying, you know, I've gone to flight school, I've had 14 hours of actual flying in a Cessna. I struggled with my radio announces. This is the kind of thing I'd like to practice in virtual reality. You can do it with a screen, with simulations, even in 3D, but it's not as convincing. This would actually give me that sort of anxiety that I feel in the aircraft when it comes time to do an announce and plan for a maneuver. And I would gain confidence using this tool to practice it. I would basically pretend I'm doing an instrument checkout, then I would pretend I'm doing an announce, and then when the real thing comes, I wouldn't fumble about. Because yeah, I talk a lot and everything, but when it comes to do radio announces, I don't know why, I'm sort of nervous about the way the announce is going to go. I don't know, it's one of my weak spots. Another weak point I have is the instrument checkout itself. It's not that it's hard. It's not that it's complicated. There's a lot to do. It's just I'm so afraid of forgetting something. I could practice a lot of things that would make me gain confidence in this software. So I do encourage the developers to actually make a pure flight sim version of this. Because the combat, not as much. I don't like aiming with aircraft. Not always. It really depends. I'm super picky about it. But with that being said, I don't know. This is really good already. The free flight option. I mean, I'm piloting an Su-25. I don't know if this is a realistic depiction of an Su-25. It does feel like a much heavier aircraft than a Cessna 172. The controls feel rather realistic. Give it a little gas. Shut the fuck up. There we go. Shut the hell up. Trying to think. Anyway, so this just works beautifully. I trimmed out earlier, so everything is all nice on my controller right now. I am using rudder pedals and a joystick. And see, a kind of control issue that I had earlier was that the rudder axis was connected to the throttle, so it would do this. I'm faking it right now, but yeah. Now I'm using my rudder pedals separately. You got the joystick, you got the throttle. So this is real nice, actually. This is a full flight simulation, the way I've always imagined one could be in the Oculus Rift. And it's really, really weird that I'm using this one first. Why am I using this one first? Why is this my first flight experience in the Oculus Rift? Well, I never got Flight Sim X working, at least not at a frame rate above 20. It runs like ass in Windows 7 to start with. And then when you use a third-party implementation, it doesn't always work. And when it does work, it's full of problems. It just doesn't work well. Then other options. There's War Thunder, which has an interesting realistic mode. Well, I want to try that, right? Oh no. War Thunder's implementation of the Oculus Rift support is not the worst Oculus Rift support I've ever experienced. Oh no, worse. It's the worst implementation of any kind of virtual reality I've ever experienced in my lifetime, including the virtual board. I don't know what they did. I can't even tell if it's stereoscopic, to tell you honestly, because the field of view is completely broken. The head tracking doesn't respect a 1-to-1 ratio at all. It feels like a really bad third-party implementation that was done without any care, and especially without any play testing. Nobody tested that. I can stomach it for a grand total of 6 seconds. My friend almost vomited trying it out. He had to walk to the toilet. And then he said, okay, wait, I think it's going to subside. He was fucking sweating. It wasn't cool. Terrible implementation of VR in War Thunder. So I don't want to use that, obviously. It would make myself sick. So this is the first one. DCS. Unlikely. Very, very thankful for its existence. Now, why am I not reviewing other software in the DK2 yet? Well, I gotta get to this. There's tons of software issues right now. I tried to revisit Elite Dangerous earlier, and it was a catastrophe. They did an update, and guess what? You know that whole VSync issue? They made it worse. Now I cannot turn it off anymore. There's no way to turn it off. And it's unusable in the DK2. It's simply unusable. It's just not even close to maybe, possibly, maybe doing it. So it's wretched. It's absolutely unacceptable. So I uninstalled that for now, and I have to wait until they fix that. And all Unity demos want a VSync at 60 frames per second. Now, I played the safeguard with my demo, which runs off Unity. I played the safeguard. What I did is I disabled VSync. Also Time Warp. I disabled both in my build for now, because I know that direct HMD access is not working with the Oculus Rift for 90% of the people, and I know that Unity, for some reason, wants to sync at 60 frames per second. The Oculus Rift DK2 requires to be synced. 1500. The Oculus Rift DK2 requires to be synced at 75 frames per second, not 60. So clearly it works like crap. And most of the demos that are out right now announcing DK2 support that are built on Unity are running at 60 frames per second. Now, I'm encouraging developers that have demos built on Unity to release versions of their demo with a quality setting that turns VSync off so we can try it. Because my demo works great. It rolls at 420 frames per second. Yeah, that's right, 420, baby. And it feels great. Unity likes multiples of 60 for some reason. I don't know if it's the OVR scripts yet. I tried to look at that. I couldn't find it. I don't know if it's Unity, the engine. But that's the problem right now. We're shit out of luck. There's very few things that are, oh shit.
Gear up. Gear up.
Yes, I'm doing it. There are few things that are working properly in the DK2 right now, and DCS, fortunately, is one of them. It's working great. If there's one thing, you know, I can complain about those control configurations, but you guys, you did a great implementation of VR and a very realistic flight simulation model. So, props to you. Good job. I mean, this is really, really, really some quality work. And this is really nice. You can go ahead and download this if you have an Oculus Rift. I believe it'll work with the DK1 as well. You can get a great idea of what an excellent flight simulation is in the Oculus Rift. Oh shit, I can look over the nose while I'm landing. That's really cool. This is absolutely satisfying. And it's pretty sad to see some developers, I'm not talking the Unity crowd, I'm talking like Elite Dangerous, for instance, starting to lock settings again. This is the development kit too. Don't abide 100% by the best practices. Let us change our freaking settings. It's not working. It's obviously not working. It's unusable. Elite Dangerous right now is tolerable for a grand total of 15 seconds. It skips frames like crazy. It's not that they enable VSync, the problem is that they force it on you and their VSync sucks. Their VSync is terrible. It does not work well. I'm looking at the frame rate and it's fluctuating between 72 and 78. It doesn't even stick to 75 like it's supposed to. Props to them for trying to stick to 75. They got the rate right. But it doesn't work well at all. It doesn't sync properly for shit. And if your engine's not syncing properly, don't enforce the bloody setting. Anyways. So DCS is working out great. I'm having a lot of fun. This is the type, I'll tell you. Now, I've gone to flight school and everything, never piloted an Su-25, but I have piloted a Cessna 172 several times, and I can tell you, I feel like I'm piloting an aircraft right now. I totally feel like I am piloting a real aircraft. The depth is convincing. The depth of the environment is unbelievably convincing. And the cockpit is really realistic. You know, if you've never piloted a plane before, start by having good controls, especially rudder pedals. I gotta explain that, okay? To first-timers in an airplane, when they take their intro flight, I know 3 people who took their intro flight just for shits and giggles. They just went and took their intro flight, didn't intend on doing the full course, just the intro flight. And the thing that they reported was the weirdest to them was steering with the rudders, in air or on the ground, to use the rudder to adjust your direction. Using your heels is not something you're commonly familiar with unless you're an airplane pilot. And it's a lot of fun to get to try a realistic depiction of the rudder mechanic, and this is one to do it right. And if you've never piloted a plane before, get yourself some rudders. If you're interested in trying, get yourself some rudders, get yourselves a good joystick or a yoke, and try DCS. Try it in free flight mode. I mean, this is great, and as you can see, the rudders are just responding as you'd expect, but this is not the kind of thing that you'd be used to from the automobile. Because the automobile, you're pressing pedals, and this, you're sliding your heels around like this. It's not the same thing. So it's a whole lot of fun to try the first time, by the way. And using rudders is really the biggest thing about a first time in an airplane. It's not flying. It's not the fact that you're controlling the plane. It's not that you're landing even. Because at your intro flight, they will let you land if you want. They always will. Unless they think you suck. But the idea of using rudders is the hardest thing to wrap your head around when you're first piloting a plane. Because yeah, rolling, I mean, you'd say, okay, this is why, oh, and just by the way, I have to say it, if you're not using rudder pedals, you're not simulating flight, okay? This is what happens when you roll an aircraft. Did I steer there? No, I did not steer. This is not how you steer an aircraft. To steer an aircraft, you have to first bank it using the roll. You have to start using the yaw to bring your nose down, and you pull a bit to enter the turn. So now I've entered the turn. It's a very lazy one, a pretty bad one too. Probably not enough for rudder, and I do like to bank heavily. But here we go. I'm taking one of these lazy ass turns right now. See the horizon scrolling by. So I'm just gonna steepen that one a little bit. There we go. So there's 3 things to do. You gotta use the pitch axis, you gotta use the yaw axis, and you gotta use the roll axis. Otherwise, no turning for you. So now I am totally leaving the game area. So I'm gonna try to get back to it, and I can hear the G breathing. I think I recognize the airfield over there, the second hill above. Wow, is it ever so cool to look through a canopy. Through the roof of a canopy. Oh, look at that. I'm in the clouds now. That is freaking awesome. Oh, there's the airfield. Holy shit. I've been just dwelling above the airfield for a while now. It's true. I wasn't even that far from the airfield when I gave you the example of the bad bank maneuver. There we go. Look, I'm going to initiate a turn here. And then the more I bank, the more I have to pull, basically. That's how you do it. And then I pull, and then I pull. I can tighten by pulling. Look, you can hear him breathing now. And now you can hear the overstress alarm. Because I'm turning like fucking crazy right now. Like the plane is not liking this. Okay. Easy on the plane, easy on the plane. Let's not destroy the aircraft during my first impressions video. That would suck. I would be embarrassed. But this is DCS, people. Digital Combat Simulator. Works with the DK2. You got position tracking. You can chair dance in your airplane. If you got rudders, you're doing some real flight simulation. If you don't have rudders, try it anyway. It's fun. It's a good visual experience. But don't expect realism because you don't have rudders. It's a lot of fun. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about it. I will revisit it if I find that the combat aspects of this sim are worth it. I will definitely revisit this, and I mean, it's probably definitely going to happen because I will restart it at some point. I'll want to do some pre-flight again. That's definitely become a primary use for this software now because I have no other simulator options in the Oculus Rift, and I really like this one. It's turning out great. And eventually I'll try the combat options. If they work out good for me, I'll come back and do a video about them. Promise that. And aside from that, I mean, that's all I had to say about DCS. This is flight at its simplest and at its best. On board my SU-25, people, I hope you're enjoying this. I'm not shaking you about too much. It is summer. Summer air is never as smooth as winter air. I've gone flying during both, and I gotta tell you, in July, you come out of your plane sweating, especially when it's windy. The wind is not steady, and the plane's constantly shaking whenever you're like anywhere below 500 feet. So if you're doing touch and goes, you're going for one hell of a rough ride there, and you're better off in winter. Winter, it feels like you're in liquid. It's so liquid smooth air compared to summer. But the one thing I do love in the summer is the view outside. It's beautiful, it's green, it's rich. Yeah, I'm in Canada here. I'm in Montreal, Canada, and it gets really hot during the summer, and it's just as rich as what I saw when I flew in Florida, because I did take a 1 hour flying lesson in Florida as well, because I wanted to fly the coast where I go all the time, the Fort Lauderdale coast, and got the chance to do that hands-on. Took a landing. Speaking of wind, Florida winds are a whole ball game. Holy shit, Florida winds. But gotta say, the view up there is beautiful in summertime. Anything that's anything that's wintertime, I don't like it. No sir, I don't like it. It's barren, it's gray. Even when the sky's blue, and even a beautiful day in the winter, in the air it looks like zombie apocalypse. It looks like a horror movie shot. But it does fly much better. It flies so much smoother in the winter. You want to go do your stall training in the winter, you want to go do your spin training in the winter, come this summer, you want to do your treks. Because then you gain some altitude, you're not doing touch and goes, you're not always getting close to the ground, and you do a long run, trim the aircraft out, and enjoy the view. Because if you're flying on a Cessna, chances are you're not flying at 40,000 feet. And that means chances are you're not shaking about even in the summertime. And that means you can enjoy the view without wanting to vomit. Yeah. Now there's the other thing, if you go into this aircraft simulator with the Oculus Rift and you start getting motion sick, this thing needs a little thrust. Yeah, I'm stallish right now. I was doing this turn way too lazy. Okay, shut up. So if you get in the software with the Oculus Rift, and then you complain about motion sickness, I better not hear about you trying to do loops, rolls, and shit like that, because, yeah, of course you're gonna get motion sick if you're trying to do loops and rolls and shit. Because you're trying to do loops and rolls and shit. You know? The other thing is, make sure you have a good video card. This appears to be demanding. Very expected, actually. I mean, this is a flight simulation, for Christ's sake. It's always like that. The worlds are always gigantic in flight simulations, and you always have these simulations that actually need to run on your CPU, like the aircraft you're operating and all its parameters, and everything is happening on the ground, and all the controls, and all the location of the other object. So flight simulators are performance nightmares most of the time. This one is no exception. I got everything on low right now to run well in the Rift, to not get frame stagger. But I only have a GTX 760, so it's not top of the line. But it should run a little better. I hope they do optimize that. It could run a little better than this. Like when I get near the runway for some reason, near the ground, it goes nuts. It's actually having a bit of a freak out right now. Once I'm back on the air, there, now it's fine. Now it's fine. That's running butter smooth, probably at 200 frames per second right now. Wow. And then as soon as I look at any objects, I lose a bit of frame rate. And then when I turn towards an agglomeration and then like a city, it really gets bad. So, taking my turn. It's always fun to be able to look out of the wingtip while you're taking a turn. And so far I've only been able to do that in real airplanes. It's the first time I get to do that in a simulation. Even with the expensive flight school simulators, I was not able to do this. They use 3 monitors, it's shit. It's complete garbage. They're not even 3D. So it's completely worthless. I mean, aside from learning the instruments and the controls, it provides no realism. This provides realism. Heck, maybe the controls in this game aren't even that realistic. Maybe the flight model isn't even that realistic, and I don't notice because of the immersion. It's possible. It's entirely possible. But I'm impressed. I'm very impressed, DCS. This is really cool. And I don't know what you're going to do about my wish, but I really wish for a flight simulator. Like something where I can load civilian aircraft in here. No weapons, no getting shot at. I want to fly without getting shot at.
Gear up.
Oh, shit.
Gear up.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Gear up.
Yeah,
Gear
it flaps
up.
up, too. I'm being a bad pilot today. I'm so sorry, flight system. Now, let's do something. I'm pretty much done with this first impressions video, so we're gonna do some failure training. Oh no! I can't pull out my gear and I just lost my engines. We gotta go for the runway right now. I will have my flaps, but not my gear. My gear is out of the question. So I'll have to do a belly landing here, people. I need to keep my speed up because I have no more motors. Actually, the motors are still running. I'm doing like at flight school. I basically just put it to idle. But I do have to hurry my ass up here. And I have to shed that altitude at the proper rate. And then I don't know if I'm going to use the grass. I don't know how realistic this soft... God damn, this view looks realistic. Holy crap. This feels exactly like what I'm doing. The failure training with the Cessna, except obviously now I didn't pull out my gear. So this is going to be a complete disaster. But it feels like failure training. Like, this is fucking awesome. This is really cool. I'm on idle. The jet's pushing. The jet engine's not as good for faking motor failure on idle. It is pushing. So, oh no, here I come. No gear, people. No gear. This is your pilot. Brace, 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 brace. I got it. 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 Brake. Air brake. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, baby. Come on, I want to save everybody on the plane. Holy Jupiter shit. Holy Jupiter. Holy... Wow! Is there a fire? Is there a fire? Do we have to evacuate? Okay, we can evacuate normally. There is no fire. So if you're ever stuck in an an SU-25 with me, I believe this is a single-seater. If you're ever stuck in a plane with me, there are odds that I may keep a level of calm interesting enough to save your lives. No, what actually, this is really a great training tool because it actually felt realistic. I saw that ground coming, I was like, shit, this gonna hit. Of course you don't feel the hit, But, well, they could do a motion simulator in addition to this. Because of the tracker camera of the Oculus Rift now, you could just mount both, the Oculus Rift on the player and the camera on the motion simulator, and the camera would make sure that the Oculus Rift doesn't react to the motion simulator. It would only react to the player's head. So if the motion simulator banks left, the Oculus Rift would not bank left because the camera's there going, wait, you didn't move. So this is awesome. This is really, really freaking cool. That practice, that failure practice felt like a real failure practice. That felt genuine. And I feel a little, like, I don't know, excited now from having succeeded this belly landing. Obviously the aircraft is probably scrap, but I didn't even start a fire. Wow. Because I've been playing with this game for a couple of hours. Game, I should say simulator. This is no game. This is actually a little hard to fly. If you're not familiar with aircraft, you're going to have a hard time at the beginning. But like I said, get yourself a pair of rudders. You need rudders. You need rudders. But I gotta say, I landed so badly at the beginning, I set fire in one of the wings, and the aircraft shortly thereafter exploded. But wow, that was, and I was really careful to make sure everything happened properly, like if it was a real plane. So this could actually provide so many situations of training that even those billion-dollar crazy-ass simulators can't give you. It's so immersive. The environment is so wrapped into your existence, and the stereoscopic nature of the Oculus Rift just makes it lead million-dollar systems. Million-dollar simulators will not be able to keep up with virtual reality. Mark my words. Million-dollar simulators not able to keep up with virtual reality. That's what I'm telling you. The $350 Oculus Rift. That's right. Of course, the software for it's going to have to be written to reproduce the entire environment. But once that's done, the Oculus Rift shall lead. Or virtual reality, whatever headset comes along after this. We got this down now. I mean, we know how to do this, so everyone can go ahead and make one. Sony's already doing that. Oh, and I gotta make a note for future videos. Oh shit, I got 2 notes to make. For future videos, I'm trying to rework the layout in this room right now because I got a few issues, including the location of the positional tracker for the Oculus Rift DK2, the position of my camera tripod, whole bunch of things I want to rework here so I can bring back the ability to always film my beautiful face while I am doing these first impression videos. So speaking of beautiful face, if you're running the DCS, kill the Oculus Rift service before launching DCS. Otherwise, the camera will not track your beautiful face. So that is another thing I had to say about beautiful faces. The camera wants to see it and track it, but for some reason, if the Oculus service is running with this particular simulator, it will not work. So you got to kill the service, then run the simulator. Okay, and the second note I want to make. Shit, I just passed 75 subscribers. Look, my YouTube channel is purely recreational. I turned on advertising. You know what? Down the line, I don't even know why. I turned it back off, and I'm not going to turn it back on. Even if I get thousands of views, I really do not give a flying shit of 10 fucks. I don't believe you should count on YouTube to make revenue in the first place, and I don't want Google making money off my videos, and I'm just not interested in the end. I don't even know why I ever turned it on in the first place. I will not be turning it back on. YouTube are a bit savages with their copyright rules when it comes to monetization, so I'll stay away from it. I'm not interested in that. So my channel is not designed to be like a show, or I just have fun making first impressions videos. You might notice if you look back at my older videos, I started off doing like just game captures in stereo, then I went on to doing some commentaries. I tried a few Let's Play series, but to be honest, Let's Play is not my kind of thing. When I play a game, I like to just play a game. But first impressions videos, now that's my thing. I tend to want to say stuff when I first run a game. That's the moment where I really want to talk. That's the moment where I'm really having reactions. What happens after that? What happens after that is mostly mindless gaming. Like, I'm just, you know, I understand the game, I know what I have to do, I just go at it. And cursing. Because all gamers curse. When you screw up, you don't screw up, you fuck up. Fuck, God fucking damn it, I gotta try again. That's how you game, right? So, but I really do love doing first impressions videos. I happen to have an Oculus Rift DK1 and an Oculus Rift DK2 now. I happen to have embraced the movement. That's the reason why I purchased the units. Just I'm not necessarily an Oculus fanboy. I am a big believer in virtual reality overall. And well, I figure because I am a big believer in virtual reality, it's especially important that I make these first impressions videos so that I can spread the word that, you know, this stuff is good. This is what's coming your way, which is now in like the development stage and is very soon going into consumer phase. What's coming your way is fucking awesome. You need to understand this. You need to understand this is not a scam. This is not a gimmick. This is not a joke. And I'm combining the fact that I like to do first impressions videos with this element of the emergence of virtual reality, and using my ability to tell you people, using my channel to the world to be able to tell the world, this really isn't a bad thing. This is an excellent thing. This is going to be revolutionary, and it's only getting started. As for the other first impressions videos, well, I love stereoscopic gaming. And I know that everybody who has a stereoscopic gaming rig will always be worried before buying a game. Hey, is it going to work? Is it going to give me trouble? Is it going to work in 3D? Well, what I do is I buy the game and I try it out for you. And you know what? It's about time someone does that. And I don't mind that it's me. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy it less when it doesn't work. But I do let you know so that you don't go ahead and buy the game because it doesn't work, right? And I will especially let you know when it works, because a lot of 3D gamers are looking for a larger 3D library, and I try to point them the right way. I did that with Shadow Warrior, I did that with Portal 2, I did that with, a ton of indie games. Race the Sun, one of my favorite ones to play in 3D, still play it every now and then. It's not the kind of game you'll play for like 20 hours in one shot, but it is the kind of game you'll launch every now and then. So I love doing that stuff. And what I was about to say is I just passed 75 subscribers, and I didn't expect it to go that way. This is kind of cool. Welcome to my channel. Enjoy the videos. It's nice to have you here. Thank you for subscribing. It's really cool. I'm rarely the type to go and encourage people that, you know people who have that list at the end of their videos, like my Facebook page, my YouTube page, like, subscribe, comment, but I rarely ever, I think I did that once or twice on some videos. I said like, oh, and subscribe if you like my videos, and I think on another occasion I encourage people to comment because of a specific topic. But I'm not the kind to go and repeat that every time. People do anyway, which is really cool. I made friends with Eincrow, who runs the channel Eincrow Productions, who is he's also a stereoscopic 3D gamer, and I made friends with him because of this channel. It's really cool. And it's nice to see that 75, now I think 76 people like to watch my videos. I'm really, really flattered by that, because I do it out of a pure recreational, having fun with you guys instead of doing it alone kind of thing. I could have all these first impression reactions to myself, but I feel that first it's cool to document them for myself in the future, to watch how I felt the first time I played something. And also, I feel it's cool to share with the world. That when I'm running, if I feel like saying something, I just go ahead and say it. It's being recorded and it's going to be broadcasted. It's kind of cool. So that's it. Thank you very much to all my subscribers. That's the first time I say that. I feel compelled to need to say it because the number's getting pretty high. It's pretty cool. So thank you very much. And I'm signing off. Hope you enjoyed this one. I sure did. This feels like a cockpit. I want to start it up again, but now I scrapped it. There's probably $26 million dollars worth in damages under this aircraft. It would have been cool if like the floor had cracked around a bit, like the deck plating down there, the behind the rudders, like that. Those metal plates that you see there have been cool if they'd just gone up and cracked off and shit. But yeah, I saved everybody. Okay, cool. So thanks for watching, people. See you next time, probably soon. I'm going to look for something that works. There is not a lot right now, but as soon as I find something else that works, I'm loading it and I'm showing it to you. All right, thanks for watching.